Well, all right, guys. Hey, so in today's video, well, you might notice that I'm in a bit of a different setting. It's because I'm away from home currently. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the types of foods that I eat to, keep my Crohn's disease under control. And I've done a lot of research on the internet and watching different YouTube videos that give advice, on what to eat to help the gut. And really keeping a focus on those gut-friendly foods, I think, is what really matters at the end of the day. So yeah, I eat very similar to like the keto diet for the most part, with a bit of changes. So I mainly focus on eating meat, because for me at least, eating meat's never given me any issues as long as it's prepared properly. Um, so like I'll have like chicken or beef or shrimp, or pork too, and eggs, and as long as it's like boiled or steamed or cooked in like avocado oil or olive oil or coconut oil, then I think things are fine. It's only like when they're deep fried or if they're cooked in like those inflammatory seed oils like canola oil, for example, that they could give you gut issues. Um, and like for veggies, um, I like to eat like the cruciferous veggies, which is what a lot of the videos online recommended from what I saw. And yeah, they've been good for me. Like I have broccoli, I have like cauliflower, I have like Brussels sprouts. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, I have avocados as well, which are more of a fruit actually, but still, they're good, healthy fat. And all right, so one thing I did want to mention actually, thinking about those avocados, is that talking about fruit, is that I actually avoid a lot of fruit because I find I don't know if it's the sugar or the fructose in it, but it most fruits seem to give me gut issues. The only ones I've been able to tolerate a bit of are like berries, so like raspberries or like some strawberries. I think blueberries are okay too, but like I said, fruits are sort of like I'm not really sure about. And whenever I have fruits, they tend to, you know, I see if I could eat a lot of that, like it could lead to me getting an abscess. I know because it gives me a lot of pain around those areas where abscesses form. So it just makes me think that it's giving me inflammation, and because of that, I try to avoid fruits in general. I just find it works better for me not having them in my diet in terms of not having any Crohn's disease symptoms. When you're eating less carbs, because the thing is, with Crohn's disease, a lot of carbs tend to cause issues like grains specifically, like rice and like wheat, oats and stuff can all potentially give you gut issues. I guess it depends, but at least for me, yeah, I've been better staying away from those. Um, the only carb I've really had is this carb called millet, which is like kind of like rice. It's similar. I also have nuts, so I have stuff like pecans or walnuts. I stay away from like cashews. I haven't really had enough almonds lately to really tell how good that one is for me, but definitely cashews give me issues and peanuts give me issues as well. Peanuts technically aren't even a nut; it's like a bean actually, and that leads me on to my next point um, that I avoid beans. I've noticed like when I eat black beans, it causes like my an immune reaction in my body, like bleeding in my intestinal area, which is really not what I want. So I've completely cut beans out of my diet. And it does seem like whenever I have beans, it gives me issues. So yeah, I've stopped having beans altogether. Let's see, and yeah, of course, there's a lot of foods I avoid as well, like like let's see, like dairy, like like fried foods, alcohol, yeah, grains, like I mentioned earlier, and yeah, and legumes. So I've done pretty well sticking to the foods I mentioned earlier, as well as avoiding processed foods too. Um, and yeah, I haven't had any symptoms, or very little symptoms. Only like the times when I ate out, or let's say I took a supplement in the morning that I wasn't sure about, is when I felt bad. And I'm still kind of monitoring things, and figuring out what other foods work well and what other foods don't work well. So, this is an ongoing process. But also supplements play a big role as well, you know, in terms of your immune system and how it reacts and making sure you try to keep it under control, and acting like normally, if that makes sense. But I would like to make another video talking more about supplements specifically, since I feel like there's a lot more in-depth stuff to talk about there. Um, Another thing that I like to do, well, another thing that I think is important for Crohn's disease is managing stress as well, which is another topic that I would love to go more in depth on another video. Um, but but yeah, trying to keep like a positive headspace is definitely important, I would say. So yeah, like when I eat foods in the morning, I'll have stuff like beef and like sometimes some mushrooms and also sweet potatoes. So yeah, out of the carbs, actually I didn't really talk about that earlier. So yeah, the carbs that I do have. So yeah, I have millet sometimes and I have sweet potatoes as well. And I heard that yams are fine as well. So um that's something I need to try in the future. But yeah, I also have mushrooms as well, which are supposed to be good for the gut, and I haven't had any issues having mushrooms either yet. So yeah, that's another food group that I would recommend. Um, and yeah, it's been fun, figuring out what foods work well for me, which ones to avoid. Definitely eating tomatoes gave me issues. I know they're like a nightshade veggie from the research I've done, which is one of the kinds you want to avoid. As someone with a very sensitive digestive issue like me. Um, so yeah, I still think having like a balanced diet for the most part is important. I tried going like full keto where I wasn't having any carbs at all whatsoever, but it was difficult, and I did have those cravings for like like carbs, like I had like rice sometimes and beans, which both gave me issues. So yeah, I stopped having those now. But like now that I've introduced other carbs like sweet potatoes and like millet to my diet, those cravings went away, and I've been able to more consistently stick to this diet. And I think the most important thing with Crohn's is like really nailing down that diet and looking at every single thing that you're eating, and figuring out what may be giving you issues if you're feeling bothered. But also, yeah, like I said, supplements play an important role too, and maybe you're lacking a specific nutrient that your body needs in order to operate properly, or in order to have a healthy gut. Um, hmm Well, anyways, that's about all that I wanted to say. So yeah, stay tuned for those future videos about supplements and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you guys will hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video I make. All right, Johnny, signing out.